but this is not the same autoclaved low density fuel cell compound as on the Rebel V2. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video we have the review, the long-awaited review, and I'm sorry for that, but we had many videos scheduled, so I had to reorganize a bit. Long-awaited review of the New Balance Fuelcell TC. This is a shoe that released in 2020. There's a new colorway which I find pretty amazing that released this year in 2021. I don't know how you like this colorway, but I think it is looking really good. And I did not try this shoe in 2020. It was, I think, a good release in 2020, and I wanted to try it because I think it compares quite interestingly with some 2021 shoes, and it's still available. So maybe it's a shoe that you're looking forward to purchase, and you are waiting for a review to confirm your, your ambition or your desire to purchase it. Quick disclaimer: this is a shoe that I purchased with my own money. No one sent it to me, and so yeah, sometimes I get shoes from companies or whatever. Here it's my my purchase, and I think it's important for you to know it. Specs very quickly. Let's start with one of the points that hurt, and it's weight. 281 grams in my size, US 11, EU 45. This is quite heavy. And I can say it already now, it has an impact on the overall assessment of the shoe, which is not happening that often. I hope so, at least. I'm not putting too much importance in terms of weight of the shoe, because I think it's not that relevant. If the ride is good, if you get what you need from a shoe, the weight is not the most important factor. Here, 281 is quite heavy and you feel it. I think this shoe was designed as a racer, trainer, a trainer that you can race, like the Endorphin Speeds, like the, I don't know, what else? Endorphin Speed, I think, is a good example. Magic Speed, maybe. So yeah, a racer that you can train with, or a trainer that you can race with. And 281 is a bit too much for that. We'll come back to that in the ride. Let's do the geometer at the end. So width of the platform, we're looking at something actually quite narrow. I was surprised because it has that same shape as the Rebel V2, for instance, which is quite wide here in the midfoot. Here is not the case. It's more on the narrow side of things. It does not translate to the fit at all. So, here the width I think is interesting to keep in mind for the stability of the shoe, but it does not translate to the fit. Drop and stack height, we have 36 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 26 in the forefoot, 10 millimeters drop. And here as well, I don't know if this is just my, my impressions. I think those 10 millimeters go a bit against the idea of having a proper racer with this shoe. I think 6, 8 millimeters works a bit better for a racing shoe. 10 is a bit too much, at least for me. I think that's one of the reasons as well this shoe is not a proper racer. Geometer score, so just to remind you, here we have some fuel cell midsole, but this is not the same autoclaved low density fuel cell compound as on the Rebel V2, fuel cell RC Elite V1, RC Elite V2. These three shoes have a new version of the compound, autoclaved, low density. Here it's still the old fuel cell. It's soft, you can feel it, and it ranks actually quite soft, but it's not the same compound, and this is very important. Geometer score here was 25, which is a bit more than the RC Elite V2 and the Rebel V2. Not a ton much, it's not in the 30s, it's not, it's still 25 is quite low, so it ranks as a soft midsole. 67 I think for the outsole, but that's not super important here. So yeah, geometer, and I think it runs a bit higher than the score may suggest. Let's come back to the upper and the feet. Upper is a very, very lightweight, soft, pliable type of mesh material. I must say I quite enjoy it, but the fit isn't really good. This is half a size down compared to my true to size, so this is 44.5 EU, 10.5 US. I would need to edit in the weight part, because the weight is for a 10.5 US, so it would be around 290 grams for my 11 US, which would be even more. But in any event, you know, comparing apples to apples, so comparing what fits to me to other shoes that fit to me, 281 grams, a fit that is, you know, quite loosey, especially in the forefoot, but even in the midfoot, you know, the width of the midfoot here may suggest a snugger fit. It's not, the tongue is not gusseted, and the lockdown, the fit is quite loose. So here again, I think, you know, for a racer, that's something New Balance should improve, to have something a bit more dialed in and a bit more, you know, wrapping your foot a bit better, to have that sensation of having your shoe really attached to the feet and not something that moves a bit, which for a trainer is okay, but you know, same here, even for a trainer, some improvements would be welcome. Heel, as you can see, isn't super rigid, you have some give to it. The heel cup isn't very stout, very molded, if you will. This is something where you have a bit of give, and the lockdown isn't anything outstanding. It's okay here in the heel, but nothing outstanding. So that's for the upper. I like the upper material, but I wish they had come up with something a bit better in terms of fit with that same upper material. So midsole we have, as I mentioned, the Fuelcell, the old Fuelcell, which I must admit I quite enjoy. And you know, we'll do at the end of the video some comparison with the Rebel V2, the RC Elite V2, very popular shoes for 2021. Here you have something way more dampening, way more dense, way more, let's say, you know, serious if you want. And you have a carbon fiber plate. Very important, there is a full length carbon fiber plate in this shoe, which isn't that noticeable in my opinion, but you know, I think combining that midsole, which is quite dense, quite dampening, soft, no doubt, it is a soft one, but it's not the type of soft that that collapses. It's not the type of soft that has a ton of bounce to it. It's not the type of soft that, you know, causes some issues, some medial collapsing, for instance, or some plushness, excessive plushness, like I don't really appreciate. Here it's the type of softness that I actually really like. I think, you know, it's the type of softness to a certain extent that you would feel on the Nova Blast. So that sort of dampening, cushioned softness. And nothing extreme in terms of bounciness, responsiveness, but I quite like it. However, now, you know, taking into account the fact that this shoe was designed as a high-end trainer or racer, it's not enough. It's not a foam that compares, at least with, you know, the super foams. It's not a plate that is aggressive enough, that is responsive enough, that has enough energy return to compete with those high-end racers. So this shoe for me is a trainer. The ride is penalized quite a bit by the weight of the shoe. 281 in my size 44.5, 10.5 US is too much. And you can feel it. I did some 200 meter reps with this shoe, going pretty much all out, 200 meters. And you know, it's just miles apart from the top end races. And it's even, you know, quite far away, I would say, at those very high speeds compared to something like the Endorphin Speeds. Even the Craft CTM Race Rebel works better at higher speeds for the same weight, because I think the plate has a bigger impact. Now, I must say that the ride of the shoe is very pleasant. The 10mm drop works well for me for slower paces. And actually this shoe was recommended to me by someone, if you're watching this, thank you for recommending it, who uses the shoe as a, you know, easy recovery days, and he enjoys picking up the pace with this shoe. So I can understand it. I think, you know, picking up the pace is very easy with this shoe, but still it remains a trainer. And I'm not saying I'm gonna have the same type of use as this person. I think for me it's more endurance, up-tempo type of runs, but still, I think it's not a racer. I think you cannot use it for intervals. It can be an easy day shoe, easy day plated. It has some decent amount of stability, not crazy stability, but decent amount. The foam doesn't collapse too much. The plate helps a bit to keep that ride quite aligned and stable. It could be an easy day shoe, it could be a recovery shoe, but $200, and that's, you know, coming to the price point, $200, 200 euros for an easy day shoe. I think it's a bit too much, especially when you look around at what's available on the market. Endurance and sort of all-rounder type of shoe. If you have like a 2-3 shoe rotation, you have one top racer, you have one very easy recovery shoe, and in the middle you have a gap to fill. This could be the shoe with which you can fill that gap. If you have lots of shoes in your rotation, I think you should look at this one like, you know, your endurance, maybe long runs type of shoe, but certainly not anything above that. At least that's my opinion. And yeah, price point €200, $200, maybe a bit too much. There are some discounts. Look in the description to get this shoe at a you know, a bit cheaper. But still, even with a discount, I think it's on the edge of being not reasonable. So yeah, two things I can recommend to New Balance if you're listening. I don't think you are, but if you are listening, why not? Maybe try to put a plate like here, the same type of not so aggressive plate in the Rebel V3, V4, because I think it would really help to have something less plush. Maybe it wouldn't be the Rebel anymore, but it would be another shoe in your lineup. Or in this one, either reduce the weight with the same foam, maybe a bit less of stack height, or try and use the new fuel cell foam in this one. I think it could be interesting. That's it for today, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this review. Let me know if you have this shoe. What do you think of it? Do you agree with what I said? Or if not, well, what are your thoughts? I'm always looking forward to read them in the comments. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, go beyond your limits, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, and take care, yeah.